Now we have our next talk, and we've got two presenters for you, and they're going to be presenting transforming AI development in VS Code. So I'm going to bring up Jidi Shang and Rong Lu. Cool. All right. I think we've got to the point where we're ready to get started. I think, Jide, you have the presentation. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you bring that up and we can get started. And as a reminder, oh, that was some recursion right there. For those of you who are developers, you might run into that problem once in a while too. Anyway, I'm going to hand it off to the both of you. Just be mindful of that echoing problem that we ran into. But anyway, handing it off to you. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jay, for the introduction. And we are really, really happy to be here for the opportunity to share with you some of the tools that we're building in Visual Studio Code for AI development. Quick self-intro, my name is Rong, and I am a PM here at Microsoft, focusing on building Python, data science, and AI tools. And with me is Jidi.
Yeah, my name is Zidi, also a product manager at the Microsoft Developer Division, working on the AI tooling stuff. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you all for tuning in. So before we get to the tools, I just want to take 1 minute to briefly talk about what we have been seeing in terms of the evolution of this new role, which we call AI engineer. Once upon a time, we have three roles here showing on the screen. Once upon a time, there were traditional roles that we often see. On the left side of the spectrum, we have data scientists. They primarily focusing on training data, training models, fine-tune models, or evaluating models. And then we have machine learning engineers who focus on evaluating models and as well as deploying models. And on the right-hand side, we have software engineers who focus on customer-facing applications. And with the rise of ChatGPT, which happened 2 years ago, we started to see a new role emerging, kind of sitting in between machine learning engineers and software engineers, whose responsibility, interestingly, largely overlaps with both roles. You can see some color coding here, but they actually have to take care of not only machine learning engineer responsibilities in terms of evaluating models, fine-tuning models, but also software engineering job responsibility in terms of building applications, getting them to production, and all that. And on top of all those responsibilities, they also have some new skills these AI engineers are picking up, primarily around prompting engineering. How do you interact with models? How do you evaluate the responses coming back from these models? So all of this coming up together poses absolutely new challenges for AI development, which is why we have been looking at, in this new world, how we can build tools to help make AI development a little easier. So just stretching out the kind of the AI engineers' responsibilities in a slightly different view, we really want to be providing a helpful tool that can help developers in their entire development cycle, starting with exploration and move on to deployment, and then evaluating the responses or your AI applications, as well as getting everything all set up in a consistent and nice way in your CI/CD pipelines. So with that goal in mind, we started building this new tool we call AI Toolkit for Visual Studio Code, which is a VS Code extension. This is still relatively new. It's been out for only a few months. We're only at the beginning of this journey, but we're really, really glad to be here to show you some of these tools, features we have built into the tool, and a sneak peek of what's coming up. So over to Judy for showing a demo live.
Yeah, if you can hear clearly, I don't need to unmute myself, right? So, all right. So next, I'm going to give everybody a demo, a cool demo. I personally like it so much. It's just showing how to leverage the AI toolkit to help me bring some ideas in my mind into something really working. So the scenario is like, I personally have a hobby to do some programmatic trading. So I often found that X.com is quite useful. Let me show you some example. this is X.com. So whenever I search like a stock ticker, like a QQQ, it put a lot of the messages to me, either from the individual, from big influencer, from media, or even from some company. Every single message has its own sentiment, either positive, or negative, or neutral. So all these information, if I can read a lot of these messages together towards a common stock taker, it can help me easily to position the sentiment direction, which in turn will help me to easily to the position whether the stock will rise or will fall. So I can help me to decide my personal trading strategy. So with all this information, I really get an idea like I want to bring this into an AI-powered app to help me to automate a lot of these things. But because I'm just started, so I don't have a paid subscription for X.com data feed yet. But I do have a screenshot. I can easily make a screenshot of these messages. And hopefully I learned a lot of the capable multimodal AI models can help me understand the content inside and probably can help me understand the sentiment inside that. So in order to do that, I try to search as a developer. So search the search engine is the first step. So I know how to program, how to deploy my app into Azure. But the thing is, I'm still relatively new to AI app development. So I search and find is really good resources from Azure AI app template gallery. So when I look at this gallery, immediately I found something quite relevant, like this one, multimodal Gen AI experience, asking questions on uploaded images using the GPT-4o. I think this is probably exactly what I'm looking for to get started. By looking at that, it's indeed, yeah, it's basically you can upload a screenshot or image and together with your question, and hopefully the multimodal can give you some responses. But in order to test out this capability, I found a really complete architecture like for deployment on Azure. But at this moment, I'm just get an idea. I really want to do some POC first by myself. I'm not ready yet to really bring into production quality, deploy everything on Azure yet. So that's what I can do with the help with the AI Toolkit Ron just introduced. So hopefully I can duplicate a lot of things just to show in that particular demo. So I can install this AI Toolkit from the VS Code marketplace. So once I install it, I can find the entry point in the on the sidebar. There's a AI Toolkit icon. So once you click that one on the left, that's all the information, all the entry point, all the functionality you can look at. I will start with the models because I know they are using the ChatGPT 4o to do some image analysis. I quickly going through that one. I found pretty much all the most popular AI models are available. So for me, I know I'm going to start with the one published by OpenAI, which in that particular example is a GPT-4o. I found two. One is hosted by OpenAI itself. The other is hosted by GitHub. Let me try the OpenAI first. Oh, it's asked me about the API key. Seems I don't have my API key at hand at this moment. So I tried the other one, the hosted by GitHub. Bingo. So within just a couple seconds, the model GPT-4o via GitHub is successfully loaded. So now it's even showing this pin icon. So let me try that. Okay, because before the demo, I already downloaded exactly the same image like in that AI app demo, the sample app. So I insert that one. What does this code do? Using exactly the same question. See what I can get. Yeah. It actually, just based on the image, it can analyze the content within the image and give me a expected result, actually even richer than what I can see from that sample app. So that's great. Now I get a little bit of interest. Let's see, if I choose another AI model, vision model or multimodal model, whether I can just get a screenshot from x.com and get the image analyzed the same way. So I previously download a lot of things, but I can also go to model. So let me see. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Meta model. Okay, that's a publisher from Meta. I can find one Llama 3.2 Vision. So let me try this one first. Okay, model loaded into the playground. So now let me do something here. So attach an image that I just screenshotted from the x.com. Because I want to do some sentiment analysis, I really want to see, based on the message, what kind of what a sentiment is for a stock picker I'm interested in. Okay, immediately it can analyze the image in the same way and detect the sentiment, which is positive. Let me see whether it's doing the yeah, markets on the rise. QQQ lead with the gains of 2.52. It correctly, successfully analyzed the whole thing. So I don't need to write any single piece of code yet. So I can just working on the prompt all by myself, tweaking all the parameters and talking to a certain model. But now let's say I can move to the next stage. So I know how to get the multimodal AI model to help me to get information from the image. Now, how about if I already get a ton of x.com images for a particular stock taker? Is there any way I can do it instead of manually do it one by one? Can I do it in a big batch mode? The first thing is, if I switch to some other model, whether I can do it directly in the interactive way first. Let me try it. So I remember I have an Llama model downloaded on my local machine. So I want to add that. And I found this simple, add a model from the playground. Also from the model catalog, I can also find a similar thing. Or on the my model, which are already ready in my local machine. So I can add Llama model. I can select. Okay, automatically detect. Okay, that's my previous downloaded on my local machine. So because this one is also important because sometimes my app maybe have some data security concern. So I don't want to send a lot of sensitive data or information to the cloud directly. So let me start with some local, totally local. This is local Llama running on my local. Maybe I get some messages already. Let me see. Okay, this is the one I copy pasted. Let me tell me the sentiment for this. Yeah, local model typically takes a few seconds to fire up. Still thinking. Okay, now it's coming out. Sentiment to be neutral with a slightly negative tone. Okay, good. Now I know if I bring the model totally locally, it can still do the thing. Yeah, so which is great. Now I just mentioned, so I happen to know there's a good source on Hugging Face with a lot of the publicly available data set, where I happen to find a quite a relevant data source called a Twitter Financial News Sentiment. That's exactly what I'm looking for. It has more than 10,000, almost 10,000 rows of data with all the messages, all the tweets, and with some manually curated or annotated result, like in numerical way. 0 means negative, 1 means positive, 2 means neutral. So let me try to, I already download that one to my local machine. I will see how can I leverage that whole thing to do some batch run, like in a much bigger scale. So let's take a look, because that's the whole 10,000. Obviously, I cannot use all of them. So I adopted only partial of the data. And if you really want to look at the detail, you can even right-click on that particular JSON-L file, open with another extension, cool extension. called a data wrangler, where you can do all the editing, summarizing ETL for your data, which is really handy and useful. So here I'm going to use this one. Now I'm going back to the AI Toolkit. I found the batch run. Okay, so now I can do import a data set. So where I get this 20 lines of data adopted from that giant data set. So now it's loading the batch run. And for the performance concern, I already deployed a base model of a GPT-4o mini on Azure using the AI Foundry service. So I can easily add that one into through our add a model feature. So I only need to provide the endpoint and the access key. So now let me try to do that. So okay, now I loaded that one. I can either run through all of them, but I can also pick individual one to run to see what kind of result. Okay, it runs nicely. I can pick anything, just let it run. And with that data wrangler or even the raw data, I can easily change the prompt and let it rerun. But let me just save time. I just showing this one here. But reading about the output, it has nothing to do with the sentiment. So usually I can offer in the playground, we can tell like generate sentiment for each message. This is the system prompt. I can easily add, I can also change a lot of other parameters. Let me rerun this thing. Okay, it's much better. Right now, it's much concise, like a sentiment negative. I run another one, sentiment positive. Okay, almost there. But I really want to be able to integrate the whole thing with my existing stock trading algorithm. So I noticed that data set can be used for fine tuning. So now I'm going to do some quick fine tuning work. So, okay, starting from the AI toolkit, doing fine tuning is very straightforward. You give it some name, pick a location, and pick a model, maybe Llama V3, click a config. Within a couple seconds, they will ask you for more information. By default, all these fine-tuning will be sent to Azure, leveraging the Azure Container App to do all the fine-tuning. But it's optional. If you have a local GPU, you can also do some of the smaller model locally by checking this. And you can choose what data set for the training. You can use the default, the sample one, or uploading the local file, or add from a Hugging Face by specify what kind of a schema it has. Then after this, you just generate the project. It will create everything for you automatically. And with this created project, it already contains the data set, where here is a sample data set, and some infra needed to deploy to Azure. So you just fire up the command palette, AI Toolkit, where you can find AI Toolkit. Where you can easily do the fine tune. Just a sec. I cannot find that information. But anyway, so in the latest, because I'm using an internal build, but in the public build, you will easily find provision your fine-tune job to the Azure Container App. After that one, take about 5 minutes. Then you run the other one, run fine-tuning. So after these two steps, it will take about multiple hours. You will get a fine-tuned model for you to use. For this particular demo, I already fine-tuned a model just to save time purpose. It takes hours. So here I also added that fine-tuned model deployed to Azure and added into our playground and used by the batch run as well. So now I'm switching to this fine-tuned model using exactly that older data set, which will expect to generate a 0, 1, 2. So that's a rerun something. This is negative, 0. That's good. 1. Okay, I pretty much get all I need to do. It's a super efficient with this numerical output. Now I get all the model to use. What kind of the system prompt I already experimented, what kind of parameter I need to include in my application. So now if I redo my application, I can easily do a so basically I can easily incorporate all this information into a simple Python code with all these prompt and with the feed of a particular x.com message, it will give me a numerical value. So that I can easily to integrate into another pipeline to help me to do the auto trading. So wrapping up, there's some upcoming features we are also releasing in very soon in a couple of weeks. For example, the evaluation. So right now, the feature is still very basic, but at least to give you a sense. For example, once you start a new evaluation, you will choose what kind of built-in evaluator, like a relevance or F1, you are interested in. Here, I just use the sample JSON file, which only contains 2 rows. Let me see whether it runs. Okay. Yeah, now I'm going to use a particular model I already previously deployed on the Azure and using the sample data, which consists only 2 lines. And now it's running the evaluation job using the model I chose as a judging model and running against the selected evaluator I put it there. So now it takes a few seconds to get the results. It's still running. Yeah, while it's running, so probably it will save some time. I can pull out some of the previously result, like which you can find in this evaluation job history, like my evaluation. So here are the sample queries, and with the ground truth, this is the the model returned responses with the expected evaluator. So this way, you can also easily open in a data wrangler again. So to get a more detailed information, including the fancy charts, so for you to do the comparison. So with this, it's so easy to do that. Oh, my running job is also finished. I can check that one because I selected the relevance and F1 score, both generated automatically and can be open in the data wrangler. So far, that's the demo I'm showing. So basically, using the AI Toolkit, I can do a lot of the prompt engineering and crafting the prompt or help me to evaluate and select the different AI models easily. And I can use the result easily to port it into any of my other application to help me complete the end-to-end story. So that's all I want to show today. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate y'all doing a presentation today. We've got a couple minutes left. Do you have anything left to present, or would you be open to a question or two?
Maybe just a quick wrap up. So
Sure.
we just showed about how to test with the different models from popular sources, how to use the model playground with the image attachment support, how to do the batch run, how to evaluate your data set or model, how to do create a fine-tune job. And some of the feature is coming, like deploy models. And for the better support the app development, like how to export the code snippet, integrate models with your app easily, how to support the future outer loop, like deploy your stuff in the CI/CD or using the container. It will be coming very soon. So stay tuned, and hopefully you will find it useful. Yeah, we can go into the Q&A stage.
Sure. Douglas would like to know, can you use models from LM Studio as well as Olama?
Right now, Olama models are all supported. For the Studio, it depends because we also support the custom model or bring your own model. So the requirement is as long as the API contract is similar to OpenAI flavor, but later we can expand that one as well. And you have the deployed endpoint URL plus the access key. You can easily add any external model to use together with the AI Toolkit.
Great, great. Appreciate it. Got another question. Pamela wants to know, I wonder if the fine tuning works with Mac GPUs, NPU. It'd have to be via a mix. Do you know if fine tuning works that way?
Fine tuning right now is working because it's using some of the standard like a QLoRa or LoRa scripts, which is CUDA based, which only runs on the NVIDIA GPU for now. Unless there will be some other community supported scripts to support other like a Mac GPU to do things, I think it's totally doable. In the next few months, we are also going to support the NPU fine tuning leveraging the our Copilot plus PC from Microsoft. But since we can do that, I don't see any blocker to support more GPU types. But as long as we have that scripting capability, yeah.
Great. Well, I think we're all set for today. I want to say thank you to both of you for joining us. Really appreciate your time, your commitment to bringing out some really great information. I love VS Code. Everyone loves VS Code. So it's great to see more ways of be able to use it, especially building AI apps. So thank you both.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
having
you
us.
all. Thank you for, yeah.
Bye-bye.